Mini Jake, the tribe has spoken.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Aw, fuck you too, sweetie.
I'm JJ, one of the original Tribe of Nerds members. You can catch me on Marvel, Pokemon, and other gaming podcasts.
What up? It's Josh, resident superhero nerd, but I also dabble in the occasional super villain as well.
Some may know me as the Chaos Gremlin, but really I'm just Joe King.
Pikachu, use Volt Tackle! Good job, Pikachu!
On the Tribe of Nerds. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Shane and I are here once again for Survivor What If, pondering the question in this vast multiverse, what would happen if you changed one thing? We're on Survivor Amazon. The dawn of Rob Cesternino, the strategic mastermind, changed this game completely. Well, we know one of his moves was taking out the wild card in Christy Smith. And what if Christy didn't waver and she just told Rob that she was in for Final Four? How does that change things? Does this actually benefit Rob's game more in this timeline than it did when he sacrificed Christy for her wild card nature?
Right. Yeah, I definitely think there is a much stronger chance he wins the game, and we'll talk that through. There's also the possibility, though, that his legacy as a strategic player takes a little bit of a hit, because this was a big move that generated other seasons to do things like this, where oh, the person's indecisive and they're in the middle, just vote out the swing vote rather than not. So I think if Christy is decisive and she's there oh, I don't know if I'm going to vote for Jenna or not. And if she's like, no, I'm voting for Jenna, then Rob doesn't turn on her. They're going to vote out Jenna. I believe Jenna would go here. So Jenna gets 6th place and no longer wins Amazon.
Yeah, she gives up immunity as well. This is another thing. I mean, does Jenna actually give up immunity to Heidi if she isn't more confident that Rob is... I don't know if she actually does that, because then she's pulling an Eric Reichenbach before Eric Reichenbach. So,
that's a good point. So, I mean, if not, then Heidi goes.
Yeah, I think Heidi goes just because I don't think Jenna's doing something that drastic. I think there was more... there was still a chance that the guys were going to target Heidi, but I think she doesn't still have the confidence that it's not her. If Christy doesn't have this moment. So
right. Yeah, there's definitely a possibility that she could still do it, because she kind of seemed like she was ready to just give up and go.
Yeah,
and
that's
all depressed. But let's say she doesn't, so Heidi goes. I think it's a bit of a moot point, because I think at the next one, Matthew still will win immunity.
Yeah, he wins immunity at 5, yeah.
And the only thing that changes is Christy's there, unless Christy wins it. But it's still the same outcome. Jenna will go at 5, I think.
Yeah.
I would assume that's what happens. You just flip, Jenna and Heidi. And then now we get a little bit interesting, because at Final Four, this is when Jenna went on her little immunity run at the end. So now someone new is going to win immunity. And...
yeah, this is the challenge with the blindfolded maze. I mean, is Christy going to dominate? Is her senses gonna make her a superhero in this challenge? I don't know.
Oh, I would guess maybe Matthew.
I could see Matthew winning.
Or Rob.
It's Matthew or Rob. I don't think Butch is winning this.
So if Matthew wins, this would be his 3rd immunity. So now it's building up a streak, and this would be Rob's 2nd immunity. And I
Yeah.
think I think at this point, regardless of which of them wins immunity, I don't see either of them going home. I think it would be Butch still or Christy, and my guess is probably Christy, because I think those guys had an alliance.
Yeah,
Those
I
three.
think the guys had an alliance for sure. I think
Yeah.
Christy.
The tricky part though would be if Rob thinks Butch and Matthew would take each other at the final two, because I think Rob
Yes.
is a strategic thinker and he's going to think ahead like that. And if he thinks that, then he's going to get with Christy, but at best he's forcing a 2-2, I would assume.
Yeah, I at that point I feel like he's just gonna go with the guys and just hope maybe that his deal with Matthew is still gonna hold and that Matthew would still take him and then he would still take Matthew, the goat that he's groomed and raised to take to the end so he can win. So
yeah, because I could see though, like if he does want to turn on one of them, it'd probably be Butch, because he gets Christy and then he goes to Matthew and is like, we're forcing a 2-2 tie and do you want to draw a rock? Unless Matthew's immune. If Matthew's immune, then you can't really use that argument. But if Cesternino wins immunity, then he can say, do you really want to draw a rock right now? Because they saw what happened with Pascal.
yes.
A couple seasons before.
Right.
And I could potentially see that getting Matthew to flip on Butch. So either the final three is like Cesternino and Matthew still with Christy, or Butch. Probably Butch, but maybe Christy. And regardless, though, I think the final immunity challenge, Butch or Christy don't win. It's either Cesternino or Matthew. The question is, does Matthew throw it like he did in the real timeline? And if he does, I think Cesternino wins that.
Yeah, he was the closest to beating Jenna. I think Butch definitely falls off. I think Christy probably falls off in that situation as well.
Yeah.
So I think it really I think it's really likely Rob wins.
Yeah, so if Rob wins final immunity, he'll take Matthew with him to the end and crush him.
Yeah, I honestly think it's a 7-0 vote.
Yeah, well, it depends who Butch votes, but yeah.
Okay, Butch could still vote Matthew, so it could still be 6-1 like the actual timeline ended up being. So
Yeah, but a much more decisive victory.
yeah.
The other option, which is less appealing, is Matthew doesn't throw it. Matthew wins and cuts Rob and takes Butch.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel like in the actual timeline how it happened, I don't want to rag too much on Jenna, but I mean, it would have been way more satisfying to have Rob win anyway. But
Oh yeah. But yeah, I do think like Matthew is going to throw it, because if he didn't want to burn Jenna or Rob, he's definitely not going to want to burn Rob or Butch, who he's much
Right.
closer with.
Mhm.
But in the off chance he doesn't throw it and he goes with Butch to the end, oh boy, that's not a good final two.
No, I honestly, I think Matthew still has a terrible final tribal, where he's still saying that Colin Powell is his favorite influential leader, which I don't think anybody understood in the real timeline.
No. Yeah, I think he probably wins, like close vote, probably. I don't know. It's a toss-up. I think the real outcome of that, though, is seeing Thailand not being well received, this being a terrible final two. And I don't know at the time that production loved the Pearl Islands final two of Sandra and Lil. Obviously, Lil, I don't think they like, but like Sandra, now we know. But if they have 3 bad final twos in a row, I think we get a final 3 as soon as All Stars.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being the case. I mean, I don't know. It's possible that they do a final 2 or final 3 sooner. But I don't know. I'm trying to look in the minds of production what they honestly thought of every single final 2.
Yeah.
That's
I think the main thing that caused the final 3 was that the person going out in third was the person they wanted to win so many seasons.
Yeah,
I mean, that was more of a driving factor versus like a boring final 2, but still.
I think the driving factor was that Terry Dietz didn't win the final challenge, and so Jeff, that's one of Jeff's many man crushes. So he's like, no, Terry.
Oh yeah, if Boston Rob went out at third in All Stars,
Then
final 3 in Vanuatu.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if he went out at final 4, you're getting a final 4.
Oh my! I'm honestly surprised like that. I mean, I guess forced fire making is like the closest we're gonna get to that, but oh
Don't
my
say
God.
it. You never know. He might.
Oh my
might
God.
do it.
Yeah, Survivor is not what it once was, but anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
I think that like there is the off chance Matthew wins the season, but more likely than not, Rob Cesternino wins final immunity, and that's his second or third immunity win of the season, and he's the surefire winner. And goes down as one of the greatest winners. Like, I think easily top 10, probably easily top 5.
Yeah, I would say top 3, to be honest, at that point. I mean, it's wild to me because like I do not fault him at all for the Christy move. It probably would be something I'd think of as well, because if someone is literally telling you they don't know, how can you work with that person?
Oh yeah.
And so for me, like I yes, it probably would have been best to still keep Christy and just like risk it in that scenario, but also just like I'm not risking it the other way and having Christy actually working with the girls and whatnot. So you're putting trust in Jenna and Heidi that they will do that, and then you're showing, okay, so we just did that for you. And like, I don't know. It's just I just think like it was the best move with what was happening.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So yeah, that's the Amazon. So yeah, with that, tune in next time for more what if scenarios on the Tribe of Nerds.